Okay, my last video cut me off because it said my SD card was full. So I'm going to finish on this video so I don't have to redo the whole thing. All right, here we go. You're a child, Aerith raged on. It's the same thing, and I'm the one who has to take care of you. No, you don't. No, if I hadn't thrown that rock right there, you would have never seen that trap. You didn't throw it. You fell and it rolled down, Nimble pointed out. It was nothing but stupid luck. Never mind luck. There are other traps around, waiting to grab you. I can't be easy until we get them all. But how do we know that? That's the point, Elbow Eyes, Eris screeched in frustration. I don't know. He turned away to hide the angry tears in his eyes. All I know is that I have to do something fast. Chapter 17, Traps. Aerith and the three kits were sitting outside next to the entryway den. Look here, furballs, Aerith said to them. I know you're impatient to get about, but as Nimble can tell you, you can't just bop around like a bunch of gizzling glitz glumpers. Tell them what happened. Nimble looked around sheepishly. I was about to pounce. I think it was a mole I was smelling, when Aerith here kicked a rock. And this thing, a trap, Aerith corrected. A trap sprang right out of the snow. It's really nasty. Aerith says it was the same kind of trap that got Mom. Tumble and Flip, having listened in silence, turned and stared where Nimble indicated. Remember the day of the snowstorm and those hunters were around? They put down 16 of these traps, Aerith explained. They could be any place, from the bluff right back into the forest and up to the cabin of theirs. No telling where they might be. The kits remained silent. Then Tumble said, I'm hungry. You should be feeding us. Holy horse hockey, Aerith snapped. I know you're hungry, but if you go ambling around, you're liable to get killed. I don't believe you, Tumble said. You just like to boss us around. Mom didn't boss us. Dad doesn't. Look here, you leaky lump of wallaby filgery. If you want to get yourself snuffed by a trap, that's your business. You old, Tumble started to say, but shut his mouth when Aerith glared at him. Don't pay attention to him, Nimble said to the porcupine. He's always grumpy. What can we do about the traps? Flip asked. Aerith turned to stare over the field. It looked so free of all danger. Yet he knew that lurking beneath the snow was something truly deadly. Turning back to the three kits, he said, We have to find those traps. My dad could find them easy, Tumble said. Fine, anthill brain, Aerith snapped. Go find your father. He can deal with it. That'll suit me perfectly. I'll be gone so fast you won't even remember that I was here. Tumble backed off, muttered, He's probably very busy. We could throw some more rocks, Nimble suggested. That might work, Aerith agreed, but only if we're lucky. If we're just a little bit off, it won't do us any good. He gazed at the huge expanse of snow again, as if it could offer some answers. What about a snowball? Flip asked timidly. That's stupid, Tumble said immediately. But Nimble said, What do you mean? Well, I was just thinking, Flip went on cautiously, looking from his brother to his sister and ignoring Aerith. We could roll a ball in front of us and, keep it rolling. If it hit a trap, it wouldn't hurt us, just the snowball. And I think it would leave a path we could walk on. The foxes turned to Aerith. The porcupine considered for a moment. Then he nodded vigorously. Snapbug salad! That's a great idea! Best I've heard in a long time. Flip grinned with pleasure. I think it's dumb, Tumble said. Aerith paid him no mind. Come on, he urged. Roll up a ball now and push it down the bluff. Flip, delighted to have his idea so quickly into practice, used his paws to shape a ball. Nimble helped. Very soon they had a large, if lopsided, ball of snow. That'll never roll, Tumble announced. Give it a try, Aerith urged. Standing by the entryway to the den, Flip prodded the ball with his nose, managed to nudge it enough so it would begin to roll down the bluff. As it went, it gathered snow and speed in its wake and left a wide path which exposed the earth. Very quickly it reached the bottom of the bluff. See? Tumble said smugly. No traps. That's the whole point, Hippo Head, Aerith snapped. At least we can walk down that way. This they did in a single file, using the path the snowball had made, with the porcupine leading the way. When they came to the bottom, where the ball rested, they stopped. Having gathered snow during its roll, the ball was very much bigger. Now, Aerith commanded, push the ball back toward the other den, where I first met you. Flip stood up on his hind legs and placed his front paws near the top of the ball. Nimble did the same. As usual, Tumble held back. There's no room for me, he announced. Just push, Aerith said to Flip and Nimble as he added his own weight for effort. The three proceeded to roll the ball forward. The heavier ball was much harder to push. Even so, it inched along. Suddenly, there was a loud snap. The ball exploded. The stunned foxes, there they are, pushing the ball of snow, as well as Aerith, jumped back. Aerith's face was as white as snow. Peering cautiously forward, there amid the remains of the snowball was another trap, its teeth clenched ferociously together. 13 to go, the porcupine announced. There was relief in his voice, but also worry. Tumble edged forward, sniffed the trap, then touched it gingerly with his paw. He said nothing. What do we do now? Flip asked. Aerith sighed. Make another snowball, he said. At that, Tumble barged forward, rolled up a new ball. Then he began to push it forward with his nose. Come on, he called haughtily to his brother and sister. I need help. Don't be so lazy. The others joined in. Slowly, they moved the ball along the base of the bluff. As it went forward, it gathered more snow. It was after they had gone some 30 more feet that another trap sprung. 12, Aerith said. He looked around anxiously. Is the area along the base of this bluff where you and your mother walked a lot? He wanted to know. I guess so, Nimble said. Well, that explains one thing, Aerith said. What's that? It wasn't an accident they caught your mother. Those trappers, those humans, were trying to snare you foxes. But why would they do that? Aerith asked, his voice full of astonishment. Your fur, Aerith said glumly. The foxes inspected their coats in puzzlement. Okay, Aerith said, let's pull together another ball. This time, we'll roll it up the bluff to the entry of your regular den. Up there? Tumble cried. Up the bluff? That's too hard. Go lick a lemon tree, Aerith snapped. We don't have any choice. It took all 4 of them to push the snowball up the face of the bluff. It was extremely hard work. More than once, they ran into boulders and had to manipulate the increasingly heavy ball around them. Once it got away from them and rolled back to the bottom of the bluff, forcing them to start over. At last, however, they reached the main den without uncovering any more traps. Well, Aerith said, at least you can go from one den to the other without any danger. But, Aerith, Nimble asked plaintively. What about food? Aerith sighed and looked back over the field again. He too was very hungry. He would have given anything to get back to the forest where the bark was plentiful. Instead, he said, well, we'll have to mark the path. We'll have to mark out more paths first, a lot of them. Otherwise, it won't be safe. Neither Flip nor Nimble objected, but Tumble said, You're all too slow. I know what to do. Before anyone could object, he scrambled down to the base of the bluff along the path that had been cleared. Aerith and the other two foxes watched him go. Why is he always crabby? Aerith demanded. Nimble exchanged looks with Flip. He misses Dad a lot, Flip blurted out. I mean, we do too, but that's all Tumble ever talks about. You know, he wishes Dad would come home. A glum Aerith made no response. He merely watched Tumble. At the base of the bluff, the young fox was hastily putting together another ball of snow. Then, using his nose as well as his front paws, he began to shove it erratically across the field in the direction of Dimwood Forest. Clearly frustrated, he did not stay behind the ball. Aerith watched in dismay. That wormwit is going to get himself killed, he said. With that, he turned to the other two foxes. Stay here, he commanded. Slipping and sliding, he scurried down the bluff after Tumble. Hey, wait, he called. Tumble did not even look around, but continued to roll his snowball forward. Aerith, breathless from the exertion, caught up with the young fox. Hey, you putrefied packet of parsnip pipes! Didn't you hear me? Tumble paid no attention. Instead, his back was to the porcupine. He struggled even harder with the ever-growing ball of snow, stubbornly inching it forward. Don't you understand? Aerith called after him. This is dangerous work. Listen to me. You're going to get yourself killed. Suddenly, Tumble let go of the snowball, turned and snapped. Why don't you just leave me alone? You're such a know-it-all. I'm sick of being ordered around by you. Who are you? Nobody. We never asked you to come here in the first place. We were perfectly fine until you stuck your nose in. Why don't you just go away? That'll make everyone happy. Do you think I want to be here? Aerith roared back. Let me tell you something, Cheese Blister. I've got 3 billion better things to do. I'm only here because your mother asked me. She did not. Suffocating snake slime. Why else would I have come here? She said you were helpless, that you needed me to look after you, that you couldn't get by on your own. That's not true, Tumble shrilled, eyes hot with tears. Furious, he spun about and resumed pushing the snowball across the field, away from Aerith. Aerith followed right behind him. When Tumble, with a darting glance over his shoulder, saw Aerith was on his heels, he cried, We're old enough to be on our own. The only reason you came to us was to get out of the snow, get warm, and eat our food. You're just too lazy to go back to your own home. You're nothing but an old, ugly, fat porcupine, and you stink too. Aerith, taken aback by the onslaught of words, stopped in his track. For a moment, he was speechless. See, Tumble went on, you insult whoever you want, but you can't take it, can you? Didn't you hear me? We don't need you, Tumble insisted, going forward again. My sister and brother feel the same way. They're only just too nice to say it. Well, I'm not nice or polite. I say what I think. Anyway, my father will get here soon, and when he does, you can... At that precise moment, the snowball exploded, hurling snow into Tumble's face. The young fox, taken by surprise, stood in place, trembling. Poking up through the snow were the sharp steel jaws of another trap. There! Eris said angrily. Didn't I tell you to be careful? Tumble whirled around. Oh, can't you ever be quiet? He said to Eris' face. Then he burst into tears. Eris blinked. But what's the matter? The fox couldn't speak. He was sobbing too hard. Talk! Eris barked. I want my mom, Tumble whispered so badly. I miss her so much. Eris paled. But I know she's dead, Tumble cried, switching back to anger. Though the tears continued to flow. Stop telling me things I know. Oh, why don't you just go away? You're awful to have around. You're bossy. You're sarcastic. And do you know what you are most of all? You're so old your brain has turned gray. Yeah, that's what you are. Old. With that, Tumble lifted his nose, opened his mouth wide, and began to howl. I want my daddy, he cried again and again. All right, my friends, we're going to stop there for today. I will read again tomorrow. Please remember to work on your math. Also remember to go and push the turn in button when you've watched both of these videos. I'm going to have to post them separately. Okay, I'll have a video part 1 and a video part 2. Have a great day, my friends. I miss you. I will talk to you soon. Have a great, fantastic Tuesday. Bye.